Logo is a programming language which we can use to draw shapes and patterns on the screen. Anytime we're programming a computer in any language at all, there are a few things that we do need to think about. We need to remember that computers are non-intelligent. Sometimes we say computers are stupid, but they don't have any intelligence whatsoever, so even saying that is not exactly correct. So a computer has about the same intelligence as a hammer or a drill. Computers do exactly what they're told to do, and computers do not make mistakes. So if we have a computer program that's not doing what it's supposed to do, that means it's the programmer, the human, who has made the mistake. The computer is still doing exactly what it has been told to do. And finally, computers are very fast at making calculations. So the things that they do very quickly. They don't get bored. And again, going back to number 3, they do not make mistakes. Anytime we're going to program a computer, we need to make absolutely certain that we know what we want it to do. So if we're going to tell the computer to program different shapes, we need to know those shapes ourselves. So naming these polygons: a triangle, a square, a pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, decagon. These are all regular polygons because all of the sides and all of the angles are the same on each shape. When we're programming in Logo, we use something called a turtle. So this is usually represented by a triangle on the screen, and it's called a turtle because a turtle is actually a robot that we can program using Logo. So why is it called that? Because if we look at one of the original turtles, we can see that this is a robot with wheels. It's got a pen that can move up and down, so it could draw on paper if you put that on the floor. And then most importantly here, it's got a shell to protect the components, which is why it was called a turtle. Our Logo commands. Our basic Logo commands are FD to make the turtle move forward, BK to move back, RT for right turn, LT for a left turn, PU to bring the pen up, so that would stop the turtle drawing when we move, PD to put the pen down so it does draw again, and then CS to clear the screen. Each of these commands needs a number after it, so FD would need a number to tell it how far to move forward, and our measurements are usually in pixels on the screen. So the pixels are the tiny dots that make up the image on our screen. The right turn and the left turn need an angle in degrees. Let's take a look at how each of these commands are used and how they move the turtle. So we're going to start off with PD for pen down. Now we don't see anything happen to the turtle, but this just means that the turtle will draw when it moves. Our next command, we're going to move the turtle forward, so we enter FD. We need to tell the turtle how far to move forward, and our measurement is in pixels. Pixels are the dots on the screen that make up all of the image. So we're going to tell it to move 100 pixels forward. Next, we're going to turn the turtle. I'm going to enter LT for left turn, and I'm going to tell it to move 45 degrees. Just so that we get to use all of the commands, I'm now going to type in BK for back, and I'm going to tell the turtle to move back 200 pixels. Now I'm going to type in PU to bring the pen up. This means the turtle won't draw anymore until we put the pen back down. I'm going to do another left turn of 45 degrees, and then we're going to tell the turtle to go forward 250 pixels. So you notice that this time it doesn't draw anything as we go there. Let's put PD to put the pen down again and go forward 50 pixels. Let's use RT, which is our last turn command. At right turn we need to tell it how far to turn, so I'm going to say 90 degrees to give us a right angle, and then let's go forward 200. So we've got our shapes. So the shapes are just scribbling really, but this shows us all of the commands that we've just looked at. So if we go to a logo interpreter, I'm just going to go and click here. You can, if you want, have a go at this one. It's on the internet, so you need that address, callerman.com/JS logo, and you can play around with that then if you want. So here's our turtle, and we're just going to start off by drawing a square. So to begin with, I'm going to type in CS to clear the screen. We don't really need to clear the screen right now, but we will need to later. Then I'm going to tell the turtle to go forward 200. Now usually I wouldn't run the program at this time, but I'm going to run it at each stage just so we can see it doing this. So if we run that, it moves forward there. Next we're going to tell it to do a right turn of 90 degrees. So if we run that again, we can see the turtle turns. Now we need to repeat these two. So we'll go FD 200, RT 90, and then if we run that, it will run again the whole of the program. So we get to there. Then let's finish that program off. So we go forward 200, right turn 90, forward 200, right turn 90. So we always try to end up exactly where we started from, which would be there pointing upwards. So if I give that run, then we get our square on the screen. Starting again with CS and run that. This time I'm going to draw a triangle. So that we can tell the computer which angle to turn, we need to understand these angles ourselves. So we're going to start off with this shape, which is an equilateral triangle. We already know some things about this shape. So the first thing that we know is that all of the angles inside a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That means that each of these three angles, because they're all equal, must be 60 degrees. Next, we're going to take this side of the triangle and we're just going to extend this line. Once we have the line there, we can see the angle there on the outside of the triangle. So this angle is 180 degrees. So now we need to find what this angle is, which is the 180 and the 60. So to do that, we can add the two of them together. So 180 plus 60 is 240 degrees. To make things a little bit easier to see, I'm going to remove these and just replace it with that one angle. So now we have our 240 degrees there. The other thing that we already know is that a full circle has 360 degrees. So this is the part that we need to find. So we already know there are 360 degrees in a full circle. We already know that that angle is 240. So we can do a calculation, which is 360 minus 240 equals 120. So the turn angle for our turtle will be 120 degrees. So we're going to go FD 200 again. This time the turn for a triangle is 120 degrees. So might do it left this time. Let's go left turn 120. So now we need to repeat those again. FD 200, LT 120. FD 200, LT 120. And then we can run our program and we get our triangle. So our turtle has gone forward there, it's turned 120 degrees, gone forward there, turned 120 degrees, gone forward there, turned 120 degrees. We can clear that again and then we can type in CS to clear our screen. So we're ready for our next shape. So we'll do one more shape like this the long way. So this time we're going to go forward 200 and we're going to do a right turn of 72. So this will draw us a pentagon and then we continue with that. So we're going to need 5 of these because a pentagon's got 5 sides, so we're going to need 5 sides and it's got 5 angles. And I need to make sure that says right turn 72, otherwise the computer will not understand. So we just need to count our commands again. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. And then we run that. And there is our pentagon. Once we get the idea of drawing basic shapes with the turtle by using the forward, back, right turn and left turn commands, then the next stage is to have a look at using loops to get the computer to do most of the work for us. So as an example, if we were drawing a square and we said forward 200 and then right turn 90, we need to do that 4 times, once for each side and each corner of the square. So if I put those in, so we've got forward 200, right turn 90, forward 200, right turn 90, forward 200, right turn 90, forward 200, right turn 90. If we run that, then the turtle will draw our square. 8 commands is quite a lot though, just for drawing a square. So what we can do is put all of that into one command. So this time I'm going to start off with CS, so it clears the screen each time. Then I'm going to set the pen size, so set pen size, and we'll set that to 3 pixels, so the lines are just a little bit easier for us to see. And then finally we put in our command, so we're going to put in repeat, then a space, and then 4, and put in the square bracket that should be next to P on your keyboard, and you notice the computer puts the final bracket in as well. And then inside that we're going to use our FD 200 and right turn of 90. So when we press run, the computer now does everything in one line instead of the 8 lines that we were using before. Let's try the same thing with a different shape. So the next program, we're still going to need CS to clear the screen. We're still going to have our set pen size at 3 pixels. So I'm going to delete the rest of this line. So now we've got repeat, then a space. And then let's go to 10. So we'll do a 10-sided shape. Square bracket that's next to the P. And this time we need our forward to be a little bit smaller because the shape's got more sides, which means it will end up bigger. We're going to do forward 100, a space, then a right turn of 36. So if we try that one and run it, so this is more useful in that we've now done that in one line, whereas it would have taken us 20 lines to draw this shape previously. This does bring up another problem though, and that is that whichever shape we're drawing, we've got to know the exact turn angle that the turtle needs to move around the shape. We could use a calculator to work that out, but it seems a little bit pointless when we've got a computer in front of us. So let's look at how we can calculate the turn angle for any shape at all. So if we take this equilateral triangle, and we're going to use this here as our turtle. Let's just think about exactly how it's going to draw that. So the turtle's pointing up, and that's where it needs to end when it's finished drawing the shape. So in this case, the turtle moves forward, then it will turn. Then it will move forward, then it will make turn number 2, then it will move forward, and it will make turn number 3. So altogether, the turtle has gone around 360 degrees because it's ended up exactly where it started. It's done it in 3 turns. So from that, if we then work out 360 divided by 3, we will get 120. This works for any shape. So if we take 360, which is a full circle, and we divide it by the number of sides of the shape, that will always give us the turn angle. So if we go back into our logo interpreter now, let's go back to drawing our square. So we've got our repeat for FD200, and let's do a right turn of 360 divided by 4, and then close the bracket and run that. So we will get our square. Let's try it with a different shape. So if we said repeat 7, all we need on the end is 360 divided by 7. We don't need to know what that number is because the computer will work it out as it goes, and that will give us our heptagon. So this will work for any shape that we want to draw. If we repeat 7, our turn is 360 divided by 7. If we repeat 5, our turn is 360 divided by 5. So let's just finish by looking at the commands for our shapes from a triangle up to a decagon. So you can see we've got our repeat, we've got a space, the number of times we want to repeat, square bracket, our commands inside there, and we're using that 360 divided by number of sides, and then we close the bracket. Now I've typed this in a word processor so that I can copy that and I can go to the logo interpreter. I'm going to still keep my clear screen and set pen size, but now I'm just going to paste from that document so that we've got all of those shapes in there, and then when we run that, then we get all of those shapes drawn together.